What is going on, YouTube? Today I got a 4th gen OU doubles battle versus Latsu7 on YouTube. I'm really sorry it's not in the usual high quality format. After the battle, the message to save the battle went away too quickly because I'm gonna guess Latsu exited or too quickly after the match. I don't know, but the second I got to my DS during my live stream when I was doing this, the option to save it was gone. And this was a fun battle, so I had to use my stream video. Like I said, I'm really sorry. This probably will not happen that often, if ever, again. So yeah, obviously there's no team preview because this is Gen 4. And there's going to be delays, and you're going to see my stylus. Once again, I'm really sorry. So yeah, it's still not in too bad of quality though. Alright, so we're going to start out with Heatran and Gengar. He's going to start out with Hitmontop and Cresselia. As you already know, Cresselia is really annoying in Generation 4. I really have to switch out. I'm going to switch, I think, Heatran out, because that thing can threaten with close combat. I switch both out, because the other one can threaten with Sucker Punch. Yeah, I switch Heatran out, and I go into Swampert. And then I switch Gengar out, and then go into Gyarados, just to get the Intimidate off. That's always helpful. I know Cresselia is not going to be running physical attacks, but, you know, for the Hitmontop, that's always useful. So he's actually going to switch his Hitmontop out, predicting something like that. And then he's going to be an absolute pro and go for the skill swap with his Magnezone. So it has Levitate. Wow! That is actually a really cool double battle strategy. I actually like it. And that's part of the reason why I like this match, and I wish that I had got to save it. It's just really too bad. I guess I didn't get to my DS in time. I mean, I probably was 10 seconds between saying good game on the computer to touching my DS again and clicking the A button. Anyways, I'm pushing into Caesar from Gyarados, and he sets up the Rain Dance so he can hit Uber Thunders, of course. So I think he's going, yeah, his Magnezone goes for Hidden Power Grass on this Swampert. Swampert does live it. That's not bad. I'm going to roar him out. And I'm going to roar him out, of course, into Hitmontop right after I brought Caesar in. So now it's going to be not as powerful. I can still go for a U-turn on the Cresselia and still get some damage, however. His Rain's still up, so I still have to be scared of Magnezone. Darn it. That is a good strategy, because then it loses that X4 weakness. All you can hit it with is fighting type moves. So yeah, he's going to switch his Cresselia out. He's going to go into his Gyarados to get the Intimidate off on both of us. So now I get the minus, well, half of my attack is gone with Caesar. He goes for close combat on Swampert, which might take it out. I was a little scared that it would, and I think it did. No, actually it didn't. I'm sorry. I can't even see that well. Anyways, I go for the U-turn on Gyarados because I kind of thought he'd stay in with Cresselia and I could get some damage off. Oh well. I'm actually going to go into Heatran now, for one reason only. Honestly, I wasn't sure if I was going to win this game or not at this rate. I did not think it was going that well. So I'm just like, I'm going to go boom, get as much damage on these things as possible. Because they are major threats. Both of them, because Gyarados has the Intimidate, and Cresselia's, well, it's Cresselia. Cresselia is very threatening just because of its high defenses. I'm going to just decide to go boom with Heatran. I'm going to let Swampert die just because it's at such a low health that, to be honest, that's kind of all I can do. Now, it's going to go boom in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom! So that's going to do a lot to Gyarados. It's not going to quite KO, I think. It's going to do a lot to Cresselia as well. That's all I was really looking for. It's just to do a lot. I needed a fresh start. I just needed to switch new things in. So that's obviously going to kill Swampert just because it's at really low health. Once again, that's sad. But at least I get a fresh start. Could send 2 new Pokemon in to hopefully do some damage. KO something. Alright. So right here, I'm actually going to go into Gyarados right now to get the Intimidate off. And I'll also go into Gengar, just because. I think it could be useful in taking out that Cresselia, potentially. Alright, so go Gengar. Surprise! It's not that much of a surprise. It's a Gengar. I guess in Gen 4 it's kind of a surprise because there's no team preview. This Gengar actually doesn't carry Explosion. See, what I did was I turned my single battles team and just made it into a doubles team. I didn't make any changes. I just kind of made appropriate pairings, sort of, in my head 5 minutes before the match. So, yeah. He actually, I think he actually had this as his doubles team, or I think he did anyways. So he's going to go into his Hitmontop, go for the get the Intimidate off on Gyarados. It really doesn't matter for this Gengar, because I actually predicted that and went for a sub, and I'm actually going to go for a taunt on that Cresselia. He actually goes for an Icy Wind, which is a little bit annoying because it's going to lower speed, but it doesn't do much, and it actually doesn't break the sub. Oh, and not to mention Magikarp, the Gyarados, avoids it, pretty much like a ninja. Because I guess Magikarp, the Gyarados, is a ninja. I mean, it's red, just look at it. It's a ninja. Alright, so I'm trying to figure out what to do here. Probably going to switch Gyarados out, because there's really no need to keep it in. I'm going to go into Scizor, because I know that my Scizor can counter probably both of these Pokemon. And he's actually going to go into his Blitzkrieg, which is basically the term, I think, for fast warfare, sort of, in German. Not sitting warfare, I think, pretty sure. Something like that. Anyways, he goes for a Sucker Punch with his Hitmontop. I go for Shadow Ball, hoping it would hit the, what's it called, hitting the Cresselia. But nope, Shadow Ball hits Jolteon. It's not too bad, it does a lot, so I really can't complain. I think a Bullet Punch might even be able to take Jolteon out, so that would be actually really awesome. I'm going to, well, we'll see in just a second. Because I know this is a lot slower paced, this is going to be a longer video, all because I couldn't save that battle. I'm really sorry. He's going to switch his Hitmontop out, that's kind of sad, because then he's going to go into Dugtrio. I still have the Bullet Punch to put priority in Dugtrio's face. That will be awesome. And in theory, I can still switch out Gengar since it is Levitate. And I predicted most of this to happen, so I went for a sub again, just because. The only thing I have to be careful of is that thing does have Sucker Punch, and I really don't want Gengar to get hit with a Sucker Punch. That would be kind of bad. That would ruin the surprise! Exclamation point. Ha. 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 Anyways, he switches into Cresselia after that thing dies. That's not bad, because I still have Gengar, and I could also threaten it with Scizor, potentially. However, he's going to make a double switch. Then he's going to go into his intimidating Hitmontop. I get the Bullet Punch off on the Dugtrio. He just barely lives, because he got the Intimidate off. This thing didn't have a Focus Sash. He just barely lived because of the Intimidate. Darn. And he goes for a Rock Slide. Doesn't do much to Scizor, and it does break Gengar's sub. However, that's fine, because then I can just go for Shadow Ball on Hitmontop. It does a solid chunk, considering those things are usually very defensive. I really can't complain too much about that. And I could go for a Bullet Punch on Dugtrio again, to be honest. I could just KO it. There's nothing wrong with that. And I could always do something funny with Gengar, like maybe switch out. Looks like I'm going to switch out here anyways. He actually switches out his Dugtrio, so we can try to save it for later. And he goes into Cresselia. I switched out Gengar. Honestly, I was kind of predicting maybe a Sucker Punch, so that might have worked out. And I could also get the Intimidate off on the Hitmontop, just so its attacks won't do it nearly as much damage as they could have. So yeah, I go for the Bullet Punch. It ends up being on the Cresselia. It does a little bit of damage, not horrible damage, I guess. Yeah, and he goes for the Close Combat on Scizor. It's going to do a bit, not too much though. Just, like I said, because I got the Intimidate off. He's going to lose some defenses, so I might even be able to KO this thing just because of the lost defenses. Or he might switch out. So I'm really thinking about what to do here. This is a pretty crucial turn because of that. So now he has that threatening Cresselia in. Not only that, he has that fairly threatening Hitmontop with minus defenses. Alright, so I'm going to make some switches here. That would be very important. Or maybe not, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm honestly going to predict him to switch out of his Hitmontop and go into Magnezone this time. maybe to go for that little strategy again. So I decide to go into Dragonite. That was a good play, and I'm going to go for a Waterfall on Cresselia. So I'm like, you know, I could get some damage on it. Maybe it'll do enough where it could be a 2-hit KO. And then he goes for a Rain Dance, where now I might actually be able to KO Cresselia with a Waterfall. That would just be awesome, to be honest. So we kind of helped my Gyarados out a little bit. Alright, so Dragonite has the extreme speed. It's not choice banded, if I'm pretty sure. I don't think it's banded. I think it's a Dragon Dancing one. I went for the Earthquake. Unfortunately, it goes for the Protect, and now I hit nothing with it. However, because of his Rain Dance, Waterfall will probably KO this thing. Right? Right? Yes, it does. So, that's awesome. Just because of his Rain Dance. Now, that's only at the expense of him getting 100% accurate Thunders. But I think the trade-off is worth it, because I was able to take that Cresselia out. That was just awesome right about there. Alright, so he does go into Hitmontop, which is rather unfortunate. With the Hitmontop, he gets the Intimidate off on both physical sweepers. I might have to switch out, but I could probably stay in and maybe just try to do some damage. Alright, I'm going to switch Magikarp out, though, because I'm kind of going to predict him to go for the Earthquake. I mean, not the Earthquake. But go for a Thunder, maybe? I'll go into Gengar. I was kind of honestly thinking about it as fodder. But no, I guess it won't be. Anyways, he goes for the Fake Out on Dragonite. Except, that doesn't work because it is Inner Focus. The one time Inner Focus is more useful than Multiscale. It doesn't do much to Hitmontop, but it does a lot to that Magnezone. The only reason why it doesn't quite KO is because of that Intimidate that he got earlier. And yes, he gets the Thunder off on on the Dragonite. Doesn't, I mean, it almost KOs. It takes you down to red health. There's still Gengar there, though. He's still chilling. I might be able to go for a sub if I predict a Sucker Punch. With Dragonite, I'm just going to go for the extreme speed and hope that it KOs that Magnezone. If I can get that Magnezone out of the way, then I'm pretty sure I have this game won. I'm pretty sure if I just get that Magnezone out. I mean, this took a lot of thought here. I just went for the extreme speed with Dragonite. And I'm going to hope that I KO. I know I have the minus attack, but still, it's really important that I try to get a KO with that. I'm still thinking about what to do with Gengar. And that's a pretty tough call. I mean, what would be the biggest surprise? I mean, its name is even Surprise. So, obviously you gotta give him the biggest surprise. I mean, I've been changing moves several times because I keep thinking different things. I have a lot of things running through my head at the moment. So I think I'll finally make a choice. Hope that the extreme speed will do a lot of damage or just KO. And we'll see. Does it KO? Does it KO? Yes! Because I get a crit! I honestly don't know if that crit mattered. I think it may have. But that was awesome. Crits are part of the game, I guess. But not much else to say. I'm really sorry about it, because I think it did matter. And I set up the sub with Gengar, because I think he went for a Sucker Punch, but I missed it. That's what I predicted. Alright, so this game can pretty easily be mine. I just have to play my cards right at this point. Now these most threatening Pokemon's out of the way. Alright, now I have a Gengar behind the sub. I'm just going to switch Dragonite out because it does have the extreme speed, which will be very useful for future turns. I know, like I said, Gengar's safely behind a sub. I don't have to worry about it. I can KO something very easily. So, yeah, I'm going to go into my Gyarados to get Intimidated on both of them. That's actually a recurring theme through this battle, getting Intimidates off. Because a lot of Pokemon in this battle had Intimidate. It's just kind of funny. But he does switch out his Hitmontop, kind of predicting that. Goes into Dugtrio. More or less his death fodder, I guess. But I kill his Gyarados instead. That works out just fine, to be honest. And I know even if my Gyarados can pretty easily take a Rock Slide, just because this is a pretty bulky Dragon Dancing Gyarados. Alright, and his last Pokemon is that Hitmontop. I think. Pretty sure. Yeah. So, all I have to do is hit a Shadow Ball on that Hitmontop, maybe 2 tops, and then I can just go for a Waterfall on that Doug Trio. That's pretty much it. I have this game won. I just have to play my cards right from here. So he does go for Sucker Punch on Gengar. Honestly, because I'm behind a sub, not worried about that. Just gonna go for the Shadow. I mean, he's gonna go for Rock Slide first because that thing outspeeds. But it doesn't really matter that much because Gengar even takes it well. And obviously, as I said, Gyarados takes that pretty well because this is a bulky Dragon Dancing one. And I go for the Shadow Ball on that. What's it called? That Hitmontop. That's gonna KO with a crit. But honestly, in the long run, that crit didn't matter. Yeah. So, Waterfall from Gyarados is going to KO that Doug Trio. That'll be game. So that was a very fun, interesting 4th Gen doubles battle, Latsu7. As I said, that screen that you just saw was only there for like 5 seconds, and I didn't make it. Wish I could have uploaded the high quality version. Didn't work out that way. Oh well, that's life. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today's battle. Rate, comment, subscribe. Hope to see you in a few more of my videos, because they're all higher quality than this one. Bye.